Hello beauties, how are you all doing? My name is Shaz, short for Scheherazade, and I love colorful makeup. Today I'm so excited because I'm gonna play around with Hypernova Palette from Sugar Drizzle. This is the inside of the palette. We're gonna do swatches and 2 eye looks, and in the end I'm gonna tell you my overall thoughts about this palette. If that sounds good to you, don't forget to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Now let's go into the video. Before we go into the first eye look, let's take a look at the swatches. Top row of Hypernova palette. I do swatches on bare skin with 2 swipes per color. Lower row of Hypernova palette. Hello friends, let's jump in. I'm going to use this color called Mega Nova. Super pretty. I've already primed my eyes with Painterly from MAC. I haven't done this in a while. I have to look at it to see what the name is. Okay, let's quickly put this in my crease. Just look at how fast and easily pigmented this palette is. I love it. I guess that's quality of palettes, by how fast I can make an eye look with them and be out the door. Because you know what? We live busy lives. We don't have time to sit and blend for 200 hours. Let's be honest. So the faster and the earlier I can get a look done, the higher ranking that palette's gonna be for me. I don't know what people are doing outside, leaf blowing or whatever it is, but let's jump in. I'm going to use this beauty called Universe. Apologies for the background noise. I feel like I have to say that every time. Went back with this brush in Universe and I'm just doing my lower lash line. I'm loving this beautiful burgundy. So lovely. Look at that. Look at that. Taking a small but fluffy brush in this color Palomar Sky. Just diffusing the lower lash line with it on both sides. Now I'm going to put a little bit of NYX's glitter primer in this part of my lid. Just tapping it. I'm going to go into this color Magnetic Field, just a very shimmery monochrome. I'm just tapping it over the primer and now going into Optical Light with a very small brush and putting this in my inner corner. And my eye look is done. I also went ahead and put some Pasadena on my lips from Ofra. I also always do a final blend. I don't do it on camera, but just letting you know. Friends, this is the first impressions. I haven't done anything else with this palette. I've just loved it by looking at it before this. And I love it even more. It's a fantastic quality. I did not expect anything else from Sugar Drizzle. Sugar Drizzle is one of my favorite newfound brands. I really like the quality. Masks were super pigmented. You saw that the whole total of the look. I'm looking at the timestamp on my video and it didn't even take 10 minutes to do this look. So I'm liking it. It's beautiful. The color story is very nice. I'm going to do a final review at the end. There are a couple of things I think about this palette that I'm going to share with you at the end. But now let me bring the camera closer, show you this eye look from close up, and then we can go into the second eye look. Okay beauties, jumping right into the second eye look. Already primed my eyes with Painterly from MAC. Let's do it. I'm gonna pick a fluffy brush and you know what? I'm gonna go into this beautiful color called Space Explosion. And I'm gonna just put it in my crease. Now I'm gonna use NYX's glitter primer, putting it all over my lid. The lower part, closer to my lash line. As always, I'm going to do shimmers with my finger. I'm going to first go into this color with my finger. The name of the color is Galaxy. It's a very nice magenta-ish. Maybe it's duochrome. I could say it kind of has a hint of, it kind of has a tint of bronze. I'm putting this on the outer half of my lid. I can't really see the bronze hue on my eye, but I could definitely see it on my finger. Now with my pinky, I'm going to go into this green. And I'm going to put this green, this is also just a monochrome green. I'm putting it on the inner half of my lid. I'm now going to use a flat brush, and I'm going to go into right here, this beautiful dark teal. And I'm putting it on my lower lash line. Now I'm going to pick a fluffier brush. I'm going to go into the pistachio green color called Mega Nova. And I'm going to use it to diffuse this color on my lower lash line a little bit. And now I'm going to use a little bit of this color. I think you all see light purple. It's actually a magenta going into purple. It's a duochrome. And I'm putting this color right at the center where the pistachio green is meeting the magenta color. I see a lavender color as I'm putting it down. And Beauties, my eye look is done. I also put a little bit of this Labello lip gloss in Blackberry Shine on my lips. Now let's talk about the palette. So each of these two eye looks that I did took less than 10 minutes to make, although I used more than 3 colors. So that's a fantastic speed. And that kind of speed usually speaks to the quality of the palette. It means pigmentation is there, blendability is good, you're not spending too much time layering or blending or building things up. So no issues with quality, and it stayed consistent with what I've seen from Sugar Drizzle. I have at least 4 other Sugar Drizzle palettes, so this palette stayed consistent with what I've seen in the past. So now it's a matter of what I think about this color arrangement, the types of colors that have been used. I wouldn't say this is my favorite Sugar Drizzle palette. I have way more exciting palettes like Dragonfly Warrior, like the one that has a butterfly on it. Each of those palettes has 2 black-based multichromes and some other multichromy, duochrome shades that have very cool shifts, like light green to lavender or light blue to lavender. So it's not necessarily, so I wouldn't necessarily say this palette is that level good in terms of color story. The shimmers in this palette, I think, are mostly monochromes. There might be a couple of duochromes, like this one is a duochrome. This one you could say is a duochrome orange to gold. Which one did I use? I think one of these pinks I used, and I mentioned that it is kind of a bronze to magenta. So there are some borderline duochromes, but I wouldn't necessarily say there's a shimmer in this palette that I'm very excited about. So the shimmer colors are not earth-shatteringly unique or different. As far as mattes go, I've already talked about quality. Quality of everything is pretty good. Pigmentation is there and all of that. But in terms of color, I particularly really like these two. These kinds of deep burgundy borderline brown colors I absolutely love. Similarly with lime greens. I've definitely seen lime green colors being sheer in some other palettes, and it's not necessarily as much a matter of the brand not doing a good job at lime greens, as that is how usually pigmentations of these kinds of neon-y colors work. But Sugar Drizzle has done a great job giving us something that's pretty opaque, and you don't really even need to build it up much. I think you saw in the first eye look how fast I build it up, and my whole crease was green. But of course, I also love the color itself. And similarly with this matte pink or matte magenta, absolutely love the color. Would I purchase this palette again after everything that I mentioned? Honestly, I don't think so. The 2 colors that make me super excited, or maybe I can say the 3 colors, are these 3 mattes. I'm not so sure if I'm very excited about any of the shimmers. Maybe this orange one, just because that kind of orange is a unique shade. You don't see it very often. But I've definitely seen way more exotic shimmers done by Sugar Drizzle. So I kind of expected more. I think this palette was in the $30 range, and I purchased it at a discount because I bought it at launch. And I think it continues to go for that discounted price right now. But honestly, friends, knowing the quality and the just color story of the other palettes that I own from Sugar Drizzle, I wouldn't say I would purchase this palette for $35 or whatever the full price is. I prefer the 9-pan palettes that I've purchased from Sugar Drizzle that are also in the $30 range, like Dragonfly Warrior, the one with butterfly on it. I don't even know what the name of that palette is, or the Frosty Flamingo. Or if you want to pay more, you can also purchase some of their other 12-pan palettes. I think those have more unique shimmers than this palette does, but then some of their 12 pans are all shimmers and they don't have any mattes, so you're going to kind of miss out on the mattes. So no, I don't think I would purchase this palette again, knowing everything I know today. Not because of anything quality related, just because I have a very extensive collection, and honestly none of these colors adds something new or different to my collection. There's definitely opportunity to change the color story a little bit to make the palette better for my taste. I'm not too convinced that these two colors are that different. This one is a little bit more purple oriented. This one is a little more pink oriented. But honestly, would someone be able to tell that different on your eyes? I don't think so. I would probably move out the purple one and replace it with a light color. To keep the same tones, it could even be a light pink. And the reason I say light is because overall the palette doesn't have a lot of light colors. So there is a little bit of opportunity missed if you're using only this palette for what to put in your inner corner. As you saw, there's nothing to put in the inner corner in the second eye look that I did, because I've used this color and I used this color. So I was just trying to figure out what else can I put in the inner corner, and there aren't that many light colors. I also don't think these two colors are that different. I would only keep one of them and I would get rid of the other ones, and I would make the other one a dark color. The palette has a lot of medium tone colors and not enough dark colors. This is the only dark color. I would probably add another dark color. You can do, I don't know, green maybe? So that is my 2 cents about this palette. Now let me bring the camera closer and show you my eye look from close up. Beauties, thank you so much for being here with me. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel for more content like this. Thanks again. I love you all, and until next time. Bye.